Welcome to the CenturyLink Field Vehicles and Heavy Machinery training. This video will outline the general rules and regulations pertaining to vehicles and heavy machinery for employees of First and Goal Incorporated. Please note, First and Goal Incorporated will be referred to as FGI in this video. Fueling safety is very important. Please make sure that while fueling vehicles, machinery, power tools, and other equipment, please follow these regulations. Stop engines. Do not smoke. Avoid open flames. Do not leave fueling hose unattended when fueling. Fuel all gasoline-powered tools before use. If refueling is necessary during use, be careful to avoid spills and allow the engine to cool before refueling, since hot engine parts may ignite fuel. While fueling, make sure the spout of the safety can or hose nozzle touches the side of the tank opening to prevent static electricity discharge. Only use safety cans to transport fuel. All fuel and propane tanks or cylinders must be secured at all times when in transport as well as in storage. Now we will cover core, internal, and automotive facility safety rules. Establish proper protection before performing work. Vehicles must not stop on, park on, or drive on pedestrian walking lane. Vehicles must not stop or park under lift equipment or impede lift equipment movement. Obey all posted signs, signals, and painted markings. All vehicles must turn on headlights and use all other safety equipment. Never place any part of your body in a pinch point position, such as standing or walking between moving containers, trailers, chassis, or an area where a hitch may collapse, and never walk under equipment being lifted. Also, maintain 3-point contact when getting on and off equipment. When it comes to vehicles inside a facility, please follow these vehicle requirements. Required safety equipment on vehicles must be functioning and used when vehicle is operated on the facility. This includes strobes or oscillating lights, headlights, tail lights, brake lights, turn indicators, and windshield wipers. Stop at all intersections and pedestrian crossing points. Make sure that the speed of the vehicle doesn't exceed the 5 miles per hour posted limit. Yield to pedestrians. Use horn when entering and exiting all ramps, corners, and pedestrian areas. If you are using forklifts, please follow these regulations. Do not park a forklift on a ramp or incline. When parking a forklift, you must park the forklift clear of obstructions, set the handbrake, lower the forks, turn off the engine, and chock the wheels. When dismounting a forklift and still in attendance of the equipment, meaning you are within 25 feet and the forklift is in sight, bring the forklift to a complete stop, place directional controls in neutral, apply the parking brake and if equipped with automatic brake, place in park, lower forks to the ground and note that the only exception is when the task requires elevated load, use 3-point contact when climbing from forklift, and do not allow yourself or others to be directly in front or behind the forklift unless the engine is shut off. When leaving a forklift unattended, lower forks to the ground, shut off the engine, remove the key in places where security is a problem, do not allow the forklift to foul tracks, apply the parking brake, and if equipped with an automatic brake, place in park. Passengers are not allowed on forklifts unless the truck is equipped with a passenger seat and a seatbelt. Do not place tools, material, or other objects on a forklift that may interfere with its operation. Always use seatbelts where provided. When it comes to forklift operation, please follow these speed and movement restrictions. When operating a forklift, always reduce speed and sound the horn when rounding corners or passing doorways or congested areas. Watch for and avoid contact with overhead and side obstructions and high voltage wires. Make sure the way is clear before moving in any direction. Bring a forklift to a complete stop before reversing direction. Look in both directions before crossing tracks. Where possible, cross diagonally. and operate the forklift backwards if the load obstructs your view. Do not get on or off a moving forklift. Maintain a 3-point contact when getting on or off forklifts. Do not pick up loads that exceed the forklift's marked load capacity. Do not move the machine until the load is secured. Back a loaded forklift slowly down ramps or inclines. Do not use a forklift to open or close doors or gates on buildings. When moving an unloaded forklift, keep the forks 18 inches or less from the floor or ground to avoid obstructions. When using personnel baskets, only use a forklift as an elevator for employees, for example, to service light fixtures, when it is equipped with an approved work platform that meets OSHA standards. Always secure the approved basket to the mast guard when using forklift to lift personnel. Ensure that passengers stand only on the floor of the basket. Forklift operator must stay at controls while the basket is occupied. In the area of forklift inspections, please be sure to always do a safety inspection of a forklift before operating it for the first time. Complete safety inspection records as required. Promptly report all defects for needed repairs to the proper authority. When defects which affect the same operation of a forklift are found, the forklift is to be red tagged. The key is to be removed and the defect immediately reported to the proper authority. Turn off the engine and set the handbrake, and clean up any fuel spills before turning the engine on. Now we will cover the general requirements for the operation of motor vehicles. Every company driver must know and obey local, state, and federal laws and regulations for operating vehicles both on and off company property. Carry a required driver's license. Complete a vehicle log and inspection form, if applicable. Ensure that necessary emergency equipment, tools, and a fire extinguisher are in the vehicle and are in good condition. Use headlights anytime the vehicle is moving. Do not exceed the manufacturer's specifications for speed. When it comes to utility vehicles, you must complete a utility vehicle safety training course prior to operating a utility vehicle. When operating a utility vehicle, wear seatbelts where provided and ensure that the utility vehicle does not exceed the maximum posted speed of 5 miles per hour. Seatbelts must be worn according to the manufacturer's guidelines posted in the vehicle or equipment and must be worn while operating or riding and moving equipment or vehicles that are equipped with them. Lying down while wearing seatbelts is prohibited. Do not transport unauthorized persons in a company vehicle except in an emergency. Notify the driver before boarding any vehicle. Never get on or off of a moving vehicle except in an emergency. Drivers assigned to vehicles and trailers and their managers or foremen are equally responsible for maintenance, cleanliness, and inspections to ensure that the equipment operates properly and safely and complies with federal motor carrier safety regulations. Any defects found during inspections that might prevent the vehicle from operating safely must be corrected by a trained person before the vehicle is used. All other defects must be repaired as soon as possible. When backing vehicles, please position the vehicle, when possible, to avoid backup movement. Before backing, inspect areas to the rear to ensure that no person or obstructions are in the path of movement. When backing vehicles other than automobiles and pickup trucks, position someone near the back of the vehicle to guide movement when available. Sound the horn 3 short blasts in vehicles not equipped with backup alarms, and stop if the person guiding the movement disappears from view. When parking vehicles, place standard transmission in low gear with the engine shut off. Place automatic transmission in park, and remove the ignition key, close the windows, and lock the doors if leaving the parked vehicle unattended. The exception would be in very cold weather, and then you may leave the engine of an unattended vehicle running, but only if you have a second set of keys. If parking on a grade, set the emergency brake and take the other precautions to prevent the vehicle from rolling unexpectedly. And when possible, chalk block the wheels. When you work under vehicles or trailers, please make sure that you do not sit or lie underneath vehicles or trailers except when inspecting or repairing them, and then make sure that the brakes are set, the wheels are blocked, the engine is stopped, and the proper support stands are in place. Do not sit or lie under a raised vehicle or trailer supported only by a jack. If you are transporting tools and material, make sure to properly secure tools, equipment, material, and freight. Do not transport hazardous materials, such as gasoline and solvents, in passenger compartments. Transport gasoline or other flammable material in a DOT-approved container. When transporting hazardous materials, follow federal and state shipping document regulations. When there is special equipment mounted on vehicles or trailers, please note that only qualified personnel may operate special equipment such as winches, cranes, and hoists mounted on vehicles or trailers. When operating vehicles with special equipment, inspect the equipment frequently. Do not exceed load limits. Make sure outriggers are in place. Secure the equipment in the proper position before moving the vehicle and comply with the manufacturer's instructions. Drivers of company vehicles must adhere to the following regulations. Unless you are otherwise authorized, you must not use company vehicles for personal business or for commuting to or from a personal residence. You cannot install or carry radio receivers or other accessories or appliances in the company vehicle without the proper authority. Never disengage or remove any safety equipment mounted or attached to company vehicles. Unauthorized persons must not be permitted on equipment. When an employee sees someone who should not be on FGI property, the employee should notify the Security Command Center or nearest supervisor. Without proper authority, you must not alter, nullify, change the design of, or in any manner restrict or interfere with the normal function of any device or equipment on engines, cars, or other railroad property, except in the case of an emergency. You must report to the proper supervisor any changes made during an emergency. This concludes the training on vehicles and heavy machinery. Thank you for watching. Please follow all of the rules and regulations provided in this training to maintain a safe work environment. And if you ever have any questions, please contact your supervisor or manager.